How can we make our world more peaceful? More peaceful also means more prosperous. A more prosperous society is a more resilient society. I want to explore a phenomenon, and that phenomenon is violence.
How does war arise, and why? Anke Hoeffler is a political economist. At the University of Oxford, her research has been devoted to topics that are rather unusual for her field: civil wars and violence. With great success, her Greed and Grievance essay is one of the most frequently quoted works in economics. In it, she poses the question, does the pressure of suffering caused by social grievances trigger wars, or are they primarily rooted in economic reasons?
That people do not like each other is a phenomenon you find in every society. But not everywhere does that result in war. We have considered the causes of civil wars. We found out that the risk factors are very special: poverty, poor growth, a previous civil war, and then financing opportunities for civil wars, especially through diaspora and natural resources.
What role do raw materials, or the diaspora, i.e. the citizens of the community living abroad, play? Anke Hoeffler has researched this for the first time, and thereby brought the topic of collective violence into the focus of development research. The principle is always the same. Anke Hoeffler collects all the data she can find: youth unemployment, average age, political system, raw materials, militias. For her most important study, for example, she analysed these factors from 78 conflicts between 1960 and 1999. The result? Civil wars are primarily favoured by available financial means and less by social problems. By now, Hoeffler explores not only collective but also interpersonal violence, for example in families and relationships. One thing is clear: being beaten during childhood leaves its mark. It can affect the ability to relate, learning behaviour and social competence. But what does this mean for society? Do experiences of violence at home tend to lead to poverty? This has hardly been researched among development economists. For Hoeffler, this means evaluating studies and analysing the figures that stand for human destinies and destroyed existences. Her own idyllic home life helps her to deal with this difficult subject.
It's a topic that's very depressing. So sometimes I just have to close the things I'm reading and just hug my kids, because it's really such a horrible topic.
Anke Hoeffler moved to Great Britain at the beginning of her studies. For her and her family, the Humboldt Professorship in Constance marks the beginning of a new phase in their life.
After the referendum, you tend to have the feeling that you are no longer welcome as a European. And I see that Great Britain is becoming Little England, and that there are better options, especially for children, in the European Union.
Anke Hoeffler is looking forward to the Reform University of Constance, which is so very different from history-laden Oxford. She especially appreciates the small departments with excellent reputations, perfect for interdisciplinary work beyond the borders of economics. A collaboration with clinical psychology is planned, a department renowned for its trauma research. Women who've become victims of sexual violence are being treated in projects in the Congo.
These are the tragic fates of women and men who, throughout their lives, have repeatedly experienced such and similar forms of violence. Overcoming this trauma is very important because violence creates new violence. As the individual is taken care of here, I think it would be great if we could think together about how this could affect society as a whole.
The Humboldt Professorship will enable Anke Hoeffler to carry out interdisciplinary long-term studies. In addition to trauma research in the Congo, she'll be able to conduct field research on a gender equality project in Liberia.
My research is about helping society to become more resilient from generation to generation. Get out of these traps of conflict. Get out of the trap that, as a beaten child, I end up beating my own children again. And that this will strengthen society, make it more resistant to the evil of violence, so that in the new generation, a more peaceful life can take place together.